All right, welcome back. Today we have the PSA submission, the comic submission, the first one, and honestly, the box is just massive. And this is 8 books. I wasn't expecting it to be in a box this big. There is a slight dent on the box from shipping, so I'm hoping the books inside are fine. I would think that they packed them well. So we're gonna break into these. I'm gonna set them up, put them up on the front, and go over the books, and then we're gonna look at the website because there's a lot of things in there that I thought was pretty cool. Packing paper is a plus. Styrofoam is a plus. Oh man, they look good. They packed really well. I'm positive, fairly certain nothing in here is damaged. So it looks like they are double, maybe even triple protected. That's inside of the secure packaging. Jeez. All right, so it looks like I'm not well equipped whatsoever to be handling these slabs, the comic book slabs. They're a lot bigger than the setup that I have. Right, my setup is for trading cards, smaller than your cell phone. The slabs are about the size of the cell phone, but these clearly are bigger, and that stack is surprisingly heavy, and there's only 8 in here, so. I put them in order from the lowest grade to the highest grade. And as I had mentioned previously, after I show them, then we'll jump onto the website and we'll see what... I'll pretty much talk about what I do like and what I don't like. So the first one right here is our Daredevil. This one... So the grade... I can't... So the grade is a 9.2. Right, but it also has that on the back of the label. This one does specify that it's an homage to Daredevil number 174. And the good thing about grading these is it kind of gives me more insight as to what the product actually is, right? Because I'm not a comic book guy. I mean, I have comic books that I've had for 25 years maybe. I don't know how old they are. Some are actually pretty old, but I'm not into comic books as I am, Pokemon or MetaZoo. but what's happened with these, the Stan Lee box edition, is the original comic book is there, but it's just a variant in the cover design, and they all include Stan Lee. So this one's a 9.2, and again, these ones were my favorite ones that I liked, and I'll be putting them on the wall. I might even have to change what I had initially planned because these are different than CGC. Right, CGC is like the leaders of comic book grading, and the wall mounts that I found on Amazon. They're for those, but there's also a review in there that says something about depending on when your comic book was graded, they might be too thick. So these might be too thick for what I have for them. So I'll just figure out a workaround around that. All right, this is our second one. This is our Captain America, and this is a 9.4. Again, these were my favorite 8 with Stan Lee on them. So I wanted to get them encased because again, these were all inherited, including the other ones that I do have. So I kind of want to keep them as a display, as well as keep them protected, right? So I knew a lot of these were not in 100% perfect condition, right? Because you could see some like dents on the binding, but I just I wanted to get them in the slab. I wanted to experience PSA in a slab. This one is probably my favorite one of all of them. And right, who we got? Zordon. Zordon is Stanley, and this one came out in a 9.4. All right, what do we have next? What do we have next? This is our Spider-Man, and this one is a 9.6. That's still really cool. It's really cool. I know I have been seeing a lot of things about the decline of the comic book world as far as value goes, and which I think if that was the case, I don't understand why PSA would jump into that realm as far as grading comic books. I'm not sure. Spectacular Spider-Man #1. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Oh, this. I see another. Like I said, all of these that I pulled out were my favorites, and this is another favorite. I remember growing up, I used to just watch the X-Files all the time, and when I saw this, I was like, no way. This one is 9.6, the JFK Disclosure, #1. Really cool. Got Scully and Mulder back there, creeping around, probably getting into some trouble, like Scoob and the gang. All right, what's next? Doodle-doop, doodle-doop. What do we got here? Oh, this is our Venom, and a 9.8. And this is kind of getting to where I was a little confused as far as the grading goes and the grader notes. The 9.6 and below, they all had grader notes. It told me exactly what was wrong with the book. But the 9.8, they didn't have any notes whatsoever. And I clicked on the link to see, like, click here to learn more. And the very top bullet point is if your card, they still refer to them as cards. They haven't quite updated it yet. But if it grades a 10, it just doesn't need grader notes. So a 9.8. And they do grade them in 10s. I've seen 10s. I think they come out in a gold label as well, which is really cool. All right, what do we got next? This is another 9.8. Doodle-doop. Oh, this is our Spider-Man Deadpool. The 9.8. Getting really cool. Oh, and then this is our Ghostbusters. So I wasn't a huge fan of Ghostbusters growing up because it was kind of like after my time, right? This is the 80s kids. But still, it was just different. It was different. It was pop culture related. So I thought it was really cool, and I thought that would be a cool one to have hanging up. Ooh. Yeah, so we're gonna jump over to the website. We're gonna check that out, and then and we'll talk about what I do like and what I don't like about the website. Again, I'm not a comic book guy. I'm not a comic book expert, but I wanted to have these protected and in a slab so I can display them. It's pretty easy. All right, here we go. So we'll look at the JFK files. Grading notes. See, I like this. I like this with the books. They don't do this to the cards. Every submission that I've put in, I've never had grader notes come back for the cards. So they did do it with this, and that's awesome because I know with the cards, I want to know why. Why did Tiny's Lugia get a PSA 9, right? I want to know why as a customer. I wish they would do this more with cards, but I feel like it would push back times more, right? They get so many cards in, and there we go. Spine Stress with Ben, back cover. Back cover breaks color. TMX, you would know. You would know. I'm interested. What is that? I'm still interested to know. Like I said, I have other books that I can send in. Plenty of the Stanley editions that I inherited. I'd like to send them in and get all of them graded, and then just figure out a way to display all of those as well. But like I said, there's so many of them. Here we got the 9.8 Ghostbusters, and we got a front and back image. This item is not eligible for grader notes. So why didn't this get a 10? I'd love to know, but they're not going to say why. I don't. That's really the only thing that I didn't like and I didn't understand. What are grader notes? Blah blah blah. Right? We know what grader notes are. Why did my submission not include grader notes? Grader notes are not applicable for the following, and the first one is items that receive a PSA 10 grade. Oh, they did change this. Items that qualify as a no grade submission, right? There's a grade on there, so I don't think that's the same thing. I don't think it qualifies as a no grade. Ineligible service levels. I mean, none of these really apply. Items submitted for review that exceed the original grade. None of those really apply to the book. So that was really the only thing I didn't like. The turnaround time was fairly quick. It was originally estimated at a 2-week turnaround, and as some of you know that have been waiting for this, that wasn't the case. It was a little bit longer than expected. But again, everything else, minor spine stress, wear, everything else did come back with something wrong with it. Surface wear, back cover, brakes color. Again, there's brakes color. I don't know what that means. I could always Google it and figure it out myself. Here's another 9.8. No grader notes on the 9.8. The other 9.8, no grader notes. So I am curious about that. I am curious as to why. But that's the website. That's what I liked. That's what I didn't like. All right. Thank you for watching. Check out the website, mesocollects.com. Thank you. I appreciate your time.